We're two artists in whose studios it's all about materials. And with these particular materials, it's all how you see.
I'm Micheline Klagsbrun. My theme is transformation. For many years I have immersed myself in Ovid's Metamorphoses, and through his stories I have explored moments of chaos when all is in flux and new forms are born. Palm spine is a husk from a palm tree containing an interior life. This work is about the processes of change in all of us, about the ever-changing cycles of life in nature and in humankind. We take a leap, grow wings, escape one life, emerge into a new self. I work in mixed media, building layers of color, texture, dreams. At the same time, I surround myself with a collection of scavenged animal and plant ephemera that inevitably finds its way into my hybrid forms. When I first began to make three-dimensional work, I hand-formed my paper-based media into bowls intended to hold nothing but light. I called them vessels of light. They are built from fragments of drawings bound together with tissue and medium into a translucent yet sturdy structure. Gradually, I incorporated elements of my collection: branches, bark, bones, shells, rusted metal, birds' nests, stories. These remains, shed by trees, animals, people, contain imprinted memories and shades of life, and also evoke transformations. This is Medea's cauldron, incorporating the sorceress's magic spells. In 2016, I established a summer studio in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. I began my exploration of this new place by wandering and scavenging, collecting elements of my surroundings, noting the similarities between aspen branches and bleached white bones, antlers and veins. From the writing of worms on bark to the impressions of mushrooms on paper, I resolved to make visible the silent messages of this mountain landscape. The classical Greek mythology that has always informed my work, the timeless stories of transformations among people, animals, gods, plants, stones, water, trees, has parallels in many cultures, including the Nuche or Ute tribe, indigenous to the Colorado area that I was now inhabiting. This piece is Angel Shadows. This piece, Eyeball, refers to the Nuche character, Antelope, a many-eyed guardian, whose story parallels that of Argus, in Ovid, the many-eyed guardian of Io, transformed into a peacock, as well as to the eyes in aspen tree bark and the eyes in tree roots. The past 2 years have brought a new theme to my use of ephemera in the creation of my Night Boat series of mixed media sculptures. I continue to use bones, skulls, shells, branches, bark, incorporated with man-made remains, metal or wood worked by hand, that bear the histories and memories transmitted by the hands of unknown others. The materials of this Night Boat of the Bones Unbuttoned, a Dylan Thomas quote, include remnants of a model boat and broken autoglass, along with branches, elk bones, fossilized oyster shells, snail shells, and a coyote skull. My night boats are profoundly about history and memory. Ocean voyages and shipwrecks had been a recurring theme in my work, but I never understood why until the discovery of a ship's log a couple of years ago that detailed my father's 1941 arrival in Britain. After diversions due to bombing, he landed safely, but on its next voyage the ship was sunk by a German U-boat, and all perished. With the night boats, I am revisiting my family memories of dislocation and migrations from and to various countries. The precarious quality of these pieces speaks to my father's sea voyage, patched together from a variety of unseaworthy materials. These fragile vessels evoke the refugees' desperation, but also their resourcefulness, resilience, and determination. Here in Night Boat of the Butterfly Bones, we see a wisteria branch, deer bones, a shell. Night Boat of the Inscriptions includes prayers in various texts, decipherable and not. The ancient Hebrew prayer for safe travel, the calligraphy wrought by insects in the bark. The current plight of refugees and asylum seekers everywhere has been on my mind constantly and gives this work added resonance today. Sea serpents on the night boat. At the same time, the work alludes to more symbolic voyages into the unknown, the journey of the soul through the underworld, and all the journeys we take when we close our eyes at night. I had been creating night boats for about 6 months when, in the early phase of the COVID pandemic, my world was devastated by the unexpected loss of my studio partner, Joe Hall. A painter of multi-layered canvases, he had left me a few discarded strips of these layers, old Lebanese newspapers and movie posters plastered with paint and torn off in his work process. More remains. One of these strips forms the sail for a tree branch inscribed by worms. This piece is called Night Boat for Joe. This turn of fate led me to realize that the night boat work is about journeys into the unknown. Several cultures, from the Vikings to the ancient Egyptians, considered boats as the vehicle for the soul's journey into the afterlife. In this piece, Conductor of Souls, I transcribed hieroglyphs from the Egyptian Book of the Dead, more accurately, the Book of Coming Out into the Light, the ancient handbook of instructions for this journey. And also in this piece, Wing of a Fallen Angel. I want to finish this presentation with a return to the earth. Night Boat of the Wild Blue Yonder includes all the elements of the other night boats and also living plants, ivy and an oak leaf hydrangea that penetrates the hull and decks of the model boat and may eventually overwhelm it. This can be seen a number of ways. I like to think of it as a night boat that has come to shore, possibly shipwrecked, but also finally able to take root, to put down roots, to sustain life and growth in a new land.